what is it? Medulla. Here it is. That is pons, and here it is midbrain. That is quadrigeminal colliculus. That is inferior and superior. Inferior colliculus, that is subcortical center of hearing, and superior vision. From inferior colliculus start brachium of inferior colliculus and go to corpus geniculatum mediale. That is the same subcortical auditory center. And from superior colliculus start brachium of superior colliculus and go to lateral geniculate body, that is subcortical visual center. Next time you will prepare diencephalon. And diencephalon consists of, just a moment. Okay. It is not necessary to draw diagrams next time, only for your understanding. We already know that prosencephalon, that is forebrain, yes?
Yes.
Prosencephalon consists of diencephalon and telencephalon. And diencephalon subdivides into thalamencephalon, and hypothalamus. And thalamencephalon subdivides into thalamus, yes, epithalamus, and metathalamus. Metathalamus consists of two geniculate bodies: corpus geniculatum mediale and laterale. And we already see these bodies, corpus geniculatum mediale, and here it is corpus geniculatum laterale. Both of them are behind, posteriorly from thalamus. That is why it is metathalamus, behind, posteriorly, metathalamus. Thalamus, that is, here it is, that is the structure, that is thalamus. And epithalamus, that is above of thalamus, it consists of triangle, trigonum, difficult to show it, here it is trigonum habenule, then habenule, and pineal body, corpus pineale, or another name, epiphysis. Some words about third ventricle. Okay, that is a thalamus. Here it is right and left, and space between thalamus. This space, that is third ventricle, ventriculus tertius. Posteriorly, here it is triangle, trigonum habenule, then habenule, here it is pineal body, and commissura habenularum, that is epithalamus. And posterior wall of the third ventricle, that is commissura habenularum. Below of it, here it is commissura cerebri posterior. Between commissura habenularum and commissura cerebri posterior, we have a recess, recessus pineale, and below of commissura cerebri posterior, that is opening of aqueduct. Aqueduct communicate fourth ventricle with the third ventricle and opens on posterior wall of the third ventricle. Now, superior wall of the third ventricle, that is fornix, and below from fornix, here it is, that is telecharaidea, the same like telecharaidea in fourth ventricle. Do you remember?
Yes.
And above of fornix we have it is corpus callosum. Above of fornix we have corpus callosum, then fornix and telechoroidea. All of these structures in the roof of the third ventricle. Anterior wall, that is continuation of fornix, that is a fornix, and continuation of fornix, that is columna fornicis. And between them we have commissura cerebri anterior and lamina terminalis, that is anterior wall of the third ventricle. Columna fornicis, commissura cerebri anterior and lamina terminalis. And now inferior wall of the third ventricle, that is hypothalamus. All of these structures together formed hypothalamus. And hypothalamus consists of hypophysis, you're right. First of all, hypothalamus subdivides into two, anterior and posterior. Anterior and posterior. Anterior hypothalamus, or visual part of hypothalamus, consists of chiasma opticum, tractus opticus, tuber cinereum, together with infundibulum and hypophysis. And posterior part of hypothalamus, or olfactory part, consists of mammillary bodies, here and here, corpora mammillaria, and posteriorly from them we have posterior hypothalamic region with substantia perforata posterior. That is posterior hypothalamus, and all of these structures together formed floor of the third ventricle, or inferior wall of the third ventricle. And this inferior wall has two recesses, recessus chiasmatis and recessus infundibuli. One recess in posterior wall, recessus pineale, and two recesses in inferior wall, recessus chiasmatis and recessus infundibuli. Now I give this separate and come here and explain some words else. Just a moment. Just in your manual you can find nuclei of thalamus. Anterior nuclei, that is anterior narrow part of thalamus, has name tuberculum anterior, that is subcortical olfactory center. Posterior nuclei in the posterior wide part of the thalamus has name pulvinar, and this nuclei are subcortical visual center. Lateral nuclei, that is subcortical center of general sensivity, temperature, pain, proprioceptive sensitivity, and tactile. All of these types of sensitivity in lateral nuclei. Medial nuclei, extrapyramidal system, and central nuclei, reticular formation, formatio reticularis. Give me your manual, please. Okay. For brain, diencephalon, nuclei of thalamus, it is epithalamus, HET's metathalamus consists of geniculate bodies, medial and lateral. Medial joined with brachium of inferior colliculus and lateral with brachium of superior colliculus. Both geniculate body are metathalamus, subcortical center of vision lateral and auditory medial. And then epiphysis, HET's pineal body, that is endocrine gland, produce melatonin, and function of epiphysis you read here, and then pituitary gland or hypophysis and third ventricle. Look here, telencephalon next, no, not necessary to read. Till page 37 from 31. From 31. That is all. Diagrams not